I'm standing up here today to talk to you about sleep and stress. But before you sigh or give up on me, don't, because I promise I'm going to keep all of this super real. Now, before I get started, I have a few disclaimers. I do not have a flawless sleep schedule, and I'm guilty of the majority of the things I'm about to tell you not to do. So, before I get started, I'm almost 18 years old. I procrastinate, I get stressed out, and I don't get enough sleep. But I'm a high school senior, so that shouldn't be surprising. Extreme stress and lack of sleep has become so normalized to the point where, unfortunately, mental breakdowns and getting stressed out makes us laugh. If I were to pull out my phone right now and scroll through my camera roll, I could make a book out of all the screenshots I have of my friends crying, looking depressed, or going hysterical. I see this every day, and I hear it as I walk down the breezeway and hear people complain about how stressed out they are. But then they just blow it off because that's how high school's supposed to be, right? Me personally, I try not to let my stresses get the best of me. But that starts to get tough when I'm constantly surrounded by it. I can vividly remember sitting in Mr. Ingholm's classroom a couple months ago feeling great. I mean, y'all, nothing could stop me. But then my classmates started listing off their to-do lists and what they were stressed out about, and I started to freak out. Like, was I not trying hard enough? Do I need to care more? Did something happen and I missed it? When really, I had nothing to be worried about at all. Our minds are so used to this stress that when we don't have it, we'll create it. And we've got to do something about this because teenagers today are more stressed out than they've ever been before. Because our generation is filled with so many stress-triggering factors, such as colleges are harder to get into, standardized testing is more competitive than ever, and high school sports have raised their bar. If you didn't grow up playing club sports, your chances of touching the court or the field might be limited. And then, on top of all of this, we've got social media, a game changer. And we're constantly connected to each other through our phones, seeing who got the most likes, who has the most followers, or who left who open on Snapchat. We're teenagers, we're competitive, and we compare ourselves to other people. But we're not just comparing ourselves to our peers, the people in this room right now. We're comparing ourselves to people who we might not have even met from all over the country. And all of this is so new that our parents won't always understand. I'm pretty sure we can all recall that eye-rolling feeling when a parent or someone older than you tries to compare their high school experience to yours. And most of the time it starts off with, well, when I was in high school, well, guess what? Things are totally different. According to the American Psychological Association, the average stress that the American teenager endures today is equivalent to the stress of a 1950s psychiatric ward patient. Wow. I'm not saying that all of you or any of you need to be institutionalized, because I think it's safe to say that psychology in the 1950s was screwed up. But I think it's equally messed up the way that over the past 60 years, we've allowed this load that we carry on our shoulders every single day to get bigger and bigger. We've got to find that happy medium that's not so ridiculous, because this is going to start to get harmful when it affects our sleep. Teenagers already have it tough when it comes to our sleep schedules. Due to all the extra hormones being released in our bodies, our nightly release of melatonin, our body's sleep hormone, is delayed, meaning that we don't get tired until later than everyone else. But we're still expected to wake up and start our day at the same time that they do. So this leaves very little room for error. And when we're teenagers, we get extremely stressed out, and our bodies try to combat this by making adjustments to our natural cycle. And these adjustments over time become destructive. And that's where you find yourself stuck in the loop of getting stressed out, losing sleep, maybe not doing as well in school, getting more stressed out, and losing even more sleep. But you think to yourself, Mary Caroline, it's 5 days. I've just got to get to the weekend, and then I'll catch up. Well, I hate to break it to you, but catching up on sleep is not a thing. Sure, you can get fully rested again, and maybe sleep a little more, but the truth is, you're never going to get those hours that you lost back. And it's going to take a lot of time and hard work to get back to that healthy state. Now, with these unhealthy habits, we're welcoming stress into our dreams. Yes, when we sleep, we dream. And our minds use our dreams as a time and a place to practice harmful situations. Therefore, we dream about what scares us and stresses us out the most. So, I know that I've had my fair share of dreams of failing that super hard physics or AP Latin test. Or maybe you've been watching too much Criminal Minds and you have a dream about being kidnapped or something else dangerous happening to you or someone you care about. Now, you're probably thinking of those dreams that you've had or you've heard about your friends having, but I also want to introduce a new type of stress dream. This is your neocortex. It's about right here, and this is where all of that higher order thinking we do goes down. And I want you to picture your neocortex like this. And when your brain creates a new memory, it gets broken up into all these tiny puzzle pieces. But when you recall this memory, your brain knows exactly what pieces to put back together. But when you're sleeping and you're stressed out, your cortisol, body's stress chemical, levels are higher, which makes it harder for your brain to talk to itself. So, for all those dreams where it seems like it's something that's happened in real life, or maybe something you've watched in a movie, but maybe there's different people there. Or maybe some huge plot twist happened at the end that didn't happen in real life. That's because your brain probably just left out a few puzzle pieces or got some wrong. Teenagers have gotten to the place where they can't dream. Well, I just talked to you about stress dreams that we have, but we can't escape our everyday lives and our dreams anymore because all of our worries follow us. Like I said at the beginning of my presentation, I'm not a perfect sleeper and I do some of those unhealthy habits. But what makes me different is that I'm aware. I'm aware that some of these things are bad for me, and I will not accept that things have to be this way. I wish I could send you all home with this perfect plan that would get rid of all of your stresses. But I can't. It'd be simply impossible. But hopefully I can give you a new perspective. One where you won't go through your everyday life normalizing your stresses and accepting defeat when it comes to them. Because if we don't, we'll never escape this unhealthy way of living and finally get back to that place where we can enjoy our dreams.